so a lot of people know what crystals are. This is an example. This is a white quartz. Some people might call it something else, snow quartz, something like that. It doesn't really matter. Do crystals work? Yes, crystals work. They are basically minerals or metals. They are conductors of energy. So think of crystals as a lightning rod in a way. All right. So I actually attended this class with these people that I used to be in business with at a crystal shop, and I bought this one little crystal here, this little blue crystal. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's for the throat chakra, and it basically resonates with the color of the throat for people that understand it and know what that means. I actually have two of them, one on this wrist too. So basically they help the throat, and I always had trouble speaking, in my past. Always nervous, still kind of nervous. It's just one of those things, but I had to learn to project my voice. But this crystal made all the difference in the world. So I purchased this crystal, and the guy noticed right away that I was able to speak. And so he thought it was more of the placebo effect, where you just imagine it, or just because you think you are wearing something that's working, just because somebody said it is. That's not what happened. All right, so I'm actually attuned to crystals because I've done a lot of energy work, and so I'm able to actually resonate with the actual frequency of the crystal. All right, so the guy, he was teaching the class, and he went out of his way to discredit me and discredit me on, how the crystal, that it must have been basically my imagination. And so I'm sitting there thinking, and I know a lot of people in that class are thinking, okay, here's a guy that owns a crystal shop, and he is sitting there trying to say that this crystal doesn't work. So he sold it to me, and then he's going to go and do a class where he's got all these potential customers, and I'm all for truth, but still, I guess he thought he was speaking his truth, but I mean, it seemed like to me he was more worried about discrediting me than anything else. So maybe that's what he believed in, but yet this guy wears them all the time, and just, a lot of people think like, crystals are just jewelry. It has nothing to do with jewelry. I'm not wearing it so they look good. I mean, yeah, I like the way they look, but that's not why I'm wearing them. So I noticed right away that they worked, and so I never had to argue with this person or anything like that. I just if he wanted to be an idiot, let him be an idiot. That's fine. But so basically, like I said before, crystals are minerals and they're conductors of energy. So think of it like a lightning rod. And so this citrine, this is basically yellow quartz. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name right, but it's my perspective, so I'm going to pronounce it the way that I see fit. It's not about being, 100% correct, as far as pronunciation. I'm not teaching the English course and how to speak. But anyway, this quartz right here was given to me by a friend, and it helps with your solar plexus, which is your will center. So, wearing a crystal like this will help your, a lot of people have heard of the importance of the brain and gut health, and so this will amplify those energies. That's what quartz does. It amplifies, things around you. So say that you want to, make a wish. So if you put this in alignment with your will center, which would be your solar plexus, this is how you, basically manifest the things in your life. What you would do is you would carry that, and then it would amplify the intention. It would amplify your intentions of what you're trying to manifest or what you're trying to do. And it also will give you a confidence sometimes, depending on, what work you need to do. It will help bring confidence. Now, I've even seen, we live in duality, so there's usually a positive and negative effect, with everything. So if I was carrying very nervous energy, which is the solar plexus, is why it's connected to the brain, if I'm carrying negative energy, it can amplify that, and then the effect is negative. Okay. So I remember, traveling and having that stone on me and being nervous before I went into somewhere, and it actually made it worse. So that's what you got to be careful with. You got to be, conscious of why you're wearing it, and conscious of the fact, how it is helping you and how it is hindering you. So when I say minerals, and I'm talking about conductors, these drops, these are basically liquid minerals, okay? And so the whole idea of the creation of these are from, basically they're kind of mined out of, the Utah Salt Lake. And so they are ionic, which means your body can, take them in more. They can assimilate the drops more. All right. So basically about 15 drops in a bottle of water is what it is recommended to you reach 40 drops per day. And to each his own on that. I mean, that's not what it says you have to do, but that's what what the recommended level is, as you progress. So salt. Salt is minerals, metals. When you look at salt in this, its original form, it's a rock basically, or huge boulders, or however you want to look at it. And so salt, I'm going to tell you what, a lot of people don't believe crystals. They say they don't work. They think us New Age people or Ancient Age people are crazy. It has nothing to do with that. Crystals have the power to melt snow. Now, why do you think they use crystals to do that? If it didn't hold energy, then it wouldn't be able to do that. So that's how you know that they're real, and that's how they work. They're conductors, okay? Conductors of energy. Also, you've heard of the term, don't throw salt in my wounds. Anybody that's ever cried or whatever and had a scratch on their face or anything like that, and then got a tear, in that cut, it burns. Well, the reason salt burns is because it has a healing property. They actually used these on the battlefield during the Civil War to actually heal wounds, and they actually will work. Like if you want to heal a cut or anything, you put salt on it, and yeah, it's going to burn, but it will definitely help it. Another way you can use minerals and crystals to heal yourself in regards to a physical in a physical way is you can get some of that clay, and you've seen it. They make back in the day they used to make poultice and things like that, but you can actually cut your fingers and things like that and use that poultice, and it will actually bind it together. So it's very powerful. It's the same type of clay that they use for face masks to pull out impurities and things like that. But you can also take that inside and make a drink out of it. And basically what it does is it will pull basically negative energy out of your body or toxins. It will pull that out and pass it through the digestive system. Just be warned on that. Don't use too much of it because it can get trapped in there in a way. Some people use charcoal, and me personally, I was using charcoal to do the same thing because it kind of works like clay, but it actually got trapped in my knees and started, making a grinding sound. And how I know it actually did, because I was using one of these foot detoxes, and the charcoal, actually came out in the foot detox because of the magnetic effect that the foot detox has. So some scientists say that crystals, they admit that they have electrical effect, but they say if it's not compressed or if it doesn't have pressure on it, that it doesn't work. So that's the whole idea between the orgonite. A lot of people know what these are. They're basically little pyramid energetic devices, and everything about it, it basically speaks energy because you're putting it in the pyramid form. The pyramid form itself, you've seen it in Egypt. They used that. A lot of people think they were just tombs. Those were tombs that were aligned with specific ley lines in order to harness energy. And so, they would meditate in there, they would walk in there, they would go in there, and they would heal themselves. And you got to think about that. Energy is the same energy, that flows through us. You've seen some of the signs when it comes to chiropractors. They say healing through the same energy that created you. That's the same thing that's flowing through us, that's animating these crystals, that's created everything. So they just are able to harness it. So whenever you touch it or whatever, you're taking on those effects. And being that the crystal itself is personal in its own way, you take on the vibrations and the frequencies of that, meaning like the crystal itself will have certain personalities. If you look up crystals and you look up the metaphysical properties, and this is what I do, I'll Google it and I'll type in the crystal that I have, and then I will type in behind it or a dash metaphysical properties. And some of the sites that you will find will have, that will show you in every way possible how it affects you. And if you know yourself and can identify with that, then you will understand that they very much work. So this is metaphysics, and that's my perspective. Thank you.